Hi there, I'm Michelle, and welcome to today's Explainer. Let's just dive right in, because today we are exploring something incredibly personal and really profoundly important. If you are a homeowner who's over 50 and you're maybe thinking about downsizing, retiring, or just exploring what your next housing options might look like, you've probably already realized something. The absolute hardest part of moving, it has absolutely nothing to do with cardboard boxes or hiring moving trucks. Today, we're going to look at the hidden emotional challenges of downsizing. We'll map out exactly why this process feels so incredibly heavy, and more importantly, how you can navigate it with a lot of grace. Picture this for a second. You're standing in your kitchen, you pick up a really simple ceramic mug from a shelf, and suddenly, out of nowhere, you realize you just cannot bring yourself to put it in the donation pile. And it's not because it's valuable, it's not even because you need it, but something deep inside you just resists. Please hear me when I say this. That resistance is not weakness. It is deeply, completely human. Validating that exact moment right there is the very first step in this journey. Section 1. More than just stuff, the true weight of our belongings. So most people just assume that decluttering is this practical, logistical task, right? You sort things into piles, you give some away, you throw some out. Sounds simple enough. But when you're standing in the middle of a home you've lived in for maybe 30 years, it is rarely simple. The psychology behind what you're actually doing is what researchers call identity renegotiation. It's the whole process of figuring out who you are now that a particular chapter of your life has closed. You see, objects carry a weight that honestly has nothing to do with their physical size. A casserole dish is never just a dish when it's the exact one your mother used every single Sunday. An old winter coat isn't just closet clutter when it reminds you of exactly who you were the year you bought it on that amazing trip. Letting go of a possession can literally feel, at a brain level, like you're losing a piece of your own life story. And it's not just the objects inside. The home itself is the container for an entire life story. Think about those little pencil marks on the doorframe where your kids grew, or that garden out back that took you years to carefully establish. For so many people, the home represents a period of life that is now behind them, and moving means acknowledging that fact. And that acknowledgement, it isn't just sad, it's naturally disorienting. Sorting through these spaces forces this emotional reckoning that no one really warns you about when they just hand you a roll of packing tape. Section 2. Navigating the guilt, understanding the unspoken burden. There's a deeply complex, completely unspoken burden here. You might feel immense guilt when you even consider donating a gift that one of your kids gave you years ago. Or, and this is surprising, you might actually experience the guilt that comes from not feeling guilty enough. You pack something away, you feel surprisingly fine about it, and then you immediately wonder, well, what does that say about me? But I want you to really take this to heart. The emotional weight you feel sorting through a lifetime of belongings is proportional to how fully you have lived. If you take absolutely nothing else away from today's explainer, please remember this. Your guilt is not a weakness to be ashamed of. It says nothing bad about you. It is simply beautiful, undeniable evidence of a life that truly mattered and evidence that love doesn't actually live in objects. Section 3. Compassionate steps. Moving forward with grace. Now, there is no shortcut through this emotional work, but there are ways to move forward without forcing yourself to detach faster than you're truly ready to. Let's look at 3 supportive steps I've seen work beautifully for homeowners making transitions right here in Chicagoland and throughout the south suburbs. Okay, step 1, start in neutral spaces. Think a linen closet, the garage shelves, maybe that kitchen junk drawer. These areas carry way less emotional weight, and building a little momentum there makes the harder rooms much more approachable. Step 2, keep what matters without justification. Seriously, the goal is not to shed everything. Nobody needs to approve what you decide to keep. And step 3, honor objects by passing them on. Giving a favorite coat to someone who will actually wear it out into the world is its own really beautiful form of honoring that item. Another wonderful way to honor your past is through meaningful memory projects. If you have incredibly sentimental items that are just, well, too bulky to keep, consider transforming them. Have a gorgeous quilt made from old fabric. Create a beautifully curated photo book. Or maybe set up a shared digital folder of scanned family letters for everyone to access. You keep the family history alive, but you safely release the physical burden of storing the actual items. Both things can absolutely be true at once. Section 4. Setting your pace. The timeline you set is the right one. I really want to reassure you that there is absolutely no correct pace for this deeply emotional work. For some people, it takes a dedicated weekend. For others, it takes several months. If you find yourself standing in a room wondering why you even started, and suddenly you just have to stop,
Your body and your mind are seen not yet, and that response completely deserves your respect. You do not have to white-knuckle this alone. Sometimes very well-meaning family members can move a little too fast, right? Kind of treating your memories like a weekend chore rather than an emotional journey. But thoughtful, paced support is out there. A trained senior real estate specialist, or SRES, along with specialized senior move managers, can provide the patient expert support you need to ensure this entire transition is handled with the utmost care and respect.
Section 5. Embracing your next chapter. Making space for what's next. You know, the things you've held on to for decades, they've held you too. Moving on doesn't erase a single bit of that beautiful history. It simply means that you are ready to bring the absolute most important pieces forward into a new space, leaving just a little bit of room for whatever comes next. So I want to leave you with this gentle question to reflect on. What will your next chapter hold? Letting go is not a chore, and it definitely isn't just about getting rid of things. It is a deeply personal, really powerful decision about curating your future. You get to decide what your next chapter gets to hold, and honestly, that is a truly exciting prospect. Just to wrap up, I want you to know that you are not alone in this journey. My goal is always to make sure you feel informed, empowered, and completely supported. I'd love to invite you to explore my free resource library, which is just packed with guides on downsizing and aging in place, as well as the Homeowners 50+ page to learn a bit more about how an SRES can help. There is zero pressure here, just open arms and helpful guidance whenever you're ready. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Take really good care of yourself, and I'll see you next time.